This is what is most telling about this latest turn of events at Srinagar. These leftist liberals have been really working very hard to first kind of set up. It was tiny. The Organization of Islamic Countries, that OIC, they are timing many things here. One of which is to prime Indian masses to the idea that Kashmir had to be given away. So they are preparing so that they are justifying it in various ways, projecting all that has happened there, the terrorism and all those jihadism, that not really as terrorism, as freedom fighters, martyrs, and that is why they started it with slogan rising in support of a cause that is ridiculous at the best. Because you see, we know what will happen if Kashmir is given away, because already parts of Kashmir are under the control of Pakistan due to their occupation of Kashmir during the original invasion and subsequent wars in which we failed to take it back from Pakistan, even though we won the conflict. These areas that are now called occupied Kashmir, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, you can see what is happening. What is the Azadi there? It's not the Azadi you're going to get. 75% of the land that belongs to the ethnic Kashmiris have been taken away by the Pakistani Punjabi dominated army for its own use. In other words, it's a military occupation, a real occupation, 70% of the land. And then they have stripped the land and the resources from the locals. That is all the orchards and things like that. The mafia of Pakistani army, they have taken it over. Everything in the business has been taken over. So they are the boss. The underdog now is the Kashmiri. Is that Azadi or is it enslavement? So only the most blind religious fanatic can miss the point that it is not Azadi, but it is asking for slavery. That is what these, you will see that the prominent figures, the Nazi-like thugs like Gilani, are all religious fanatics. So they are jihadis, Islamists. They are like worse than the Muslim brother. They are like the ISIS. And they justify the ethnic cleansing. They are uprooting 500,000 of the Kashmiri Pandits there, which takes an enormous amount of social violence to uproot that level of violence. And it is to these violent people that the students there have defied straight on the face and defiantly held the Indian flag. It's a fantastic finale to a kind of a macabre drama and a scheming that these leftist communists and all these pseudo-secularists have been cooking up. And what they expected was that this disaffection that they are spreading against the Indian state will spread. It will spread from university to university, and then you will see more of this treachery, this shamelessness of disowning a country, speaking of for convicted terrorists. These are convicted terrorists. You must first understand that. Now that's a nice coffee. Well, if you look at it, the comparison between the students of the Jawaharlal Nehru University here, situated and living among Indians, a free democratic society, where they know that both the authorities as well as the people here are easygoing and they go by book. They go by the law. They do not break your heads just like that without thinking about the consequences. People here don't easily take their law into their own hands or rush forward and then come into the campus and seize you by the neck and then slaughter you like this does. That is what the Islamists have done in the Kashmir Valley to 500,000 of Hindus there. They uprooted them by straight away burning their houses, killing them, doing death dances over their bodies, burying them alive, killing the children, to infuse the terror into their hearts so that they all go away to do their ethnic cleansing. Paki, you see, it's the ethnic cleansing. Such people. So it is not comparable. So what the JNU clowns did was sitting among us in a democratic society where there is a freedom of speech and even the legal authorities can't move against you breaking the law unless they want it to backfire on them. And then the media that is very supportive, and all this media that wants to make heroes out of you as though it is a glorious defense of kind of an oppressive fascist state and a clarion call for freedom, Azadi. Where is Azadi? All this. They want the Kashmiris to be a Baluchistan. And what about the insensitivity? See, these clowns in Jawaharlal University, these students, thugs, they just were so insensitive that they were hailing convicted terrorists like Afzal Guru, who attacked the parliament, which is the foundation of our freedom and constitution that you are demanding the freedom from, and that guarantees it. And then they were hailing as martyr people who came through boat and started gunning down people indiscriminately at Mumbai. What about the slain jawans, the soldiers, the policemen, their families? So insensitive. It was so tasteless and insensitive that this media chose to highlight all this, even lately, that when they try to spread this disaffection against the Indian state and treason, plain treason, for political gains, for the flop show of the communists and the leftists, ultra-leftists, and then they're salivating along the sidelines. The Congress that has been made completely to sit down this term. All this, on top of it, you see that these clowns, this bunch of traitors in Jan, are so insensitive that they were saying, hailing these convicted terrorists on the face of society that is guaranteeing you the freedom to speak, to assemble, to protest, the media that is there to ensure that they could do nothing against you. What is bravado about it? Nothing. Whereas, imagine what the students in the Delhi and Srinagar NIT, National Institute of Technology, did. That is manhood. That is bravery. They are so brave. Even the girl students were very brave. They know. We know that. We saw in Cologne what the Muslim mobs do. They rape them. That's what they do. Even in a host country that welcomes them, they rape them. And this is Srinagar, where they have already done that to Kashmiri Pandits. One of the reasons the Kashmiri Pandits left the Kashmir Valley was that they could accept all else, risk their lives and all. Many people think they are covered, and the one reason was the honor of their women. The Islamists threatened to rape them. This is what they did. This is what they're doing. So they'll follow it up. They follow words with action. This is the place, the hotbed of the Islamic terrorism, the gun-toting maniacs who have killed everybody, including Kashmir. They just killed whoever disagreed with them. They killed the security forces. They killed wiped out the minorities. This is horror, terror, and to say it on its face that yes, indeed, we are Indian and we are proud of our flag, the idea of India. That is heroism. That will go into history books. You'll go as traitors, and they'll go. It ends. The story ends there. It flopped. The attempt to infuse treachery, sedition, spread disaffection, and then make Indians turn against their own country and the idea of India, one India. That failed, and it ended up in a dramatic reversal and an anticlimax of the Indian students asserting their Indianness and raising the Indian flag on the face of the same so-called Azadi, which is actually clamoring that local population under the influence of religious indoctrination is clamoring for slavery, enslavement, like to become a Baluchistan, which is the Azadi, and this, they were doing it on their face. So having said that, we also must ensure the safety of the students. The parents will be worried. Students, after all, go to universities to study, not to do politics, not even to establish our patriotism, stuff like that, which you can always do after you educate yourself, have a career, plenty of time to prove what you are, what you can do to the country, rather than what the country could do to you, and your love for the country in deeds rather than in words, by excelling in your own field. And that is how the Indians shine quietly, not by keeping bombs and killing. It's not our way. Well, so we should really be proud of these boys and girls there. We should protect them. We should listen to them up close. It is not at all a safe place, and if they really feel insecure, you should not push them to stay there. After all, 15% of these students are from the local area, so they can come over here and relocate it. Give the campus to some of the youth and relocate the NIT along with the faculty to come anywhere in our area, somewhere in Delhi or Jammu. To relocate it to Jammu, it's so easy as that. So if they really want relocation, it must be done. It's not worth getting killed for just raising Indian flag and all that in India itself, just because a local population has been sold out to the idea of Baluchistan and has Azadi, and they have become ISIS-like fanatics who have done already ethnic cleansing of the Kashmiri Pandits. So, well, if you look at it, one more thing that I would like to add is the kind of the media coverage, which is just horrible. Like, the way they made heroes, paper tigers, tigers out of paper tigers, and all that. You don't need much bravery to, kind of pose before a camera, fully knowing that terrorists will come and shoot you there, or they'll rape people like they did to Kashmiri Pandit women. They won't do all this kind of stuff. So even the police there bet these students up and broke a few heads. These kind of things we didn't see, and so they know that. And there is no bravery in that. You are very despicable, very cowardly, despicable bunch. So they are one with just one show of defense of the flag, and just where it should be done. More than that can't be done. Only the Indian army can march into Pakistan and raise the Indian flag. That is what can exceed this act of bravery, absolute bravery. Another thing to note is that Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the founder of this Bismillah Janata Party, is actually Bharatiya Janata Sangh. It has become Bismillah Janata Party. Which is that he actually went there to risk his life for exactly the same reason. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, he went to raise the Indian flag, and he was stopped at the outskirts of Srinagar and then taken to the police station, and it is most likely that he was manhandled badly, had internal organ damage to internal organs. These kind of scanning and all those things were not available back then, and so they couldn't make it out. So mostly kidney damage, renal damage, internal damage, splenic rupture, most likely. And his son, his family, they were of the view that there were bruises in his body and he was murdered. So he was martyred for this reason. And then your founder leader, was martyred just for this rising of the flag. What is it the BJP must have done? It should have stood by the student. If they are doing lately, after all these outcries on social media, they should have rushed there first. Second thing is that they should have immediately reacted strongly against any kind of physical intimidation of the students trying to raise the Indian flag. It must be the other way around. So what should the Deputy Chief Minister have done there as a junior partner? The BJP is a coalition partner. Actually, it's the BJP and the PDP. Mehbooba is running a coalition outfit there. So what should you do when you hear that there have been Latisha? You should have vehemently opposed it. You'll pull out the rugs from this government. You'll walk out, nothing doing. The flag raising is fundamental to our party. We will not compromise on the Indian integrity and the Indianness. This is Indian territory. We will never, kind of stuff like that. Instead, he's saying, my Latisha. So I think he deserves my Latisha. So this kind of statements where actually conflict of interest comes, where you like to control the damage control, hold the exams quite in upon, instead of showing the rest of India, the rest of student community in India, that this is the way. This is what is an ideal Indian, a proud Indian. Indians are proud of it. This is what you should make reach your Indian students, not try to push it up, cover up, which is what they. So the ABVB should do that instead of relying on this. BJP is not dependable. So this kind of statement coming from that is my Laticha, quite as though it is an apology. So it's highly despicable because it is Indian flag. You shouldn't have touched them, and then demanded strong action against them. Gone there, even the leaders, what are they doing? They go there, sit with the student. You see, when the traitors in the bunch in the sedative bunch in the JNU, when they started rising Azadi, Baluchistan slogans, that Kashmir should become Baluchistan, hailing terrorists and all that. You see Rahul Gandhi rush there, Churi rush there, Prakash Karat rush there, all the frontline leaders rush there to pose with them, stand with the students, boosting their morale. They are saying, in other words, that our entire movement of opposition is behind you. Did you do that to these students here? You just sent two officials there who staying there and conduct the election, push it up, quiet on it, things like that. This is the contrast. Despite this, that is the story, how it is being narrated. This is how the media goes endless, and one first post or some other, I read it, one post, I couldn't believe it. It's actually doing it cleverly through quotes. It is calling these students who raise the Indian flag as hooligans. Can you believe this? And compare this to what they did with those who raised slogans for the Maoist murderers who are killing regularly our security people in JNU, and what they were hailing as heroes, people who hail convicted terrorists like Afzal Guru and Ajmal Khazab. Most despicable media. And so this was the first time it so happened that people could perceive the enormous hate that the media harbors for the majority community. The Hindus are openly able to see that now. They are articulating it everywhere. The media is tone deaf. It is trying to pretend as there are those who are saying a sank. No, they are just common Hindus. Easygoing, ordinary Hindus. You are pushing them more and more. You think that the 300 MPs that the BJP got, by mistake. It's by mistake. They identified Modi as a Hindu heartland, which he isn't. He's showing himself as a dim. And then, you think it's the upper limit? More and more Hindus are seeing through the game. Your singular, devoted kind of media jihad that they are doing for the greater jihad, and then your venomous, not so subtle, always anti-Hinduism. This people are not missing it. And so the media is almost at war with the people. Now that I'm selling a paper or running a TV, and then I'm at war with my customers, with my viewers and my readers, and telling them what they should be thinking, and which is not at all in their interest. I'm actually, kind of pitching for their mortal enemies like Pakistan, terrorists, Maoists, and stuff like that. Is this sustainable? The media has come out more and more. Indian media is already compromised in Radia tapes and the FBI affidavit where it came out that the Kashmiri lobby in the United States was giving money for Indian journalists to visit and talk nonsense about these Kashmir dispute, damaging things, self-damaging things. They are giving money to the Indian journalists. So they are discredited people. So this discredited branch naturally has no self-esteem, doesn't understand that it is already at war with the majority community. So no, the Indian flag is being raised in Indian territory, but this media is describing it as tropes of patriotism. So these are all kind of sarcastic things reserved for Hinduism, things that you consider which are very dear to you. Look at the student there. For them it is not a piece of cloth. Now tropes of patriotism are not worth really for risking going into a jihadi location. The local population is committed to jihad, the wonderful stuff like that. They want to be Baluchistanis, and then they'll do anything, and taking the flag and risking your lives are not tropes. So this kind of mocking at them, this kind of sarcasm reserved for things that people, the common man, the majority of Indians still love, like the idea of India, Mother India. So he's saying, within quotes, tropes of patriotism, Mother India, or sowing divisions. So Now you see, being an Indian in India, you are causing a division. You are the outsider. So these fellows are so uprooted that they are telling you that by just being an Indian and then going, saying that I'm proud of being Indian, you are dividing the society. The normative thing is that people should hate India, look down on it, step down, mock it. This is healthy. This is what they think. This is what the media is pumping. Without thinking about the concept, media is already discredited. They do not understand this. Anger is building up against the media. They better note this stuff and then not later complain that the Indian masses, they put an end to your nonsense. And then complain that they buried the freedom of press also. It is not so. It is because you are abusing the freedom of press to constantly do a diatribe against the majority community and especially the Hindus and the idea of India and nationalism, stuff like that, mocking it all the time with your, not so subtle hatred for them. So you better change. The media must stop its jihad. That is one thing. Why you go, you see, not the jihad trace local population of students who want this region to become a Baluchistan and join Pakistan, but these people who are doing tropes of patriotism are dividing the society. This is how they write. So he also says in this first post story, he is saying it is titled NIT Row. Here is how a potential non-issue turned into a badly mishandled situation. So it's a non-issue. So it's not a big deal. What is the issue? Issue is hailing Afzal Guru and then Ajmal Kasab and terrorists and then this issue of Baluchistan Azadi. That is what is the issue. That you are going by India, we are happy with it and we are thankful to be Indians and thankful for the country, for people who stand for it like our Jawan. That is a non-issue. So this is how they proceed. The media is really becoming rascals. So this is most sticky apologia for separatist terrorism in Kashmir. On the contrary, if a bunch of students write slogans hailing convicted terrorists as martyrs, then they go on a tour even to Hyderabad University. You see, the Indian Express published a kind of big, just a look at it was so despicable. A big, kind of rock concert kind of full page, front page photo, snap of that. Look at these students here. We still don't know who are the bravehearts that took their flags in their hand, those who defied and things like that. They are yet to be, that this is a stark contrast between. Now, see, there's another one is the demands put forth by non-local students who heavily outnumber the locals. That is, they are intimidating, larger in number. That is, they have the locals, they have the nerve, and then they bet them, and then the police bet them. All that is now. Look at always this spin that they give, as are not of the usual sort that would come of an academic campus. The demands put forward, which are very reasonable. That the flag, we must have the right for hoisting the flag. Action must be taken against those who kind of shout pro-Pakistan thing and celebrate Pakistan inside Indian territory, and this kind of activities, as well as the police action against it. These are the demands, a very reasonable demand. All have been considered already. Are not the usual sort that comes from another. What are the usual sort? You know what it means? The usual sort are these Baluchistan Azadi and pro-Azadi slogans and hailing for Afzal Guru, kind of mass murderers. So populism and political upheaval in Germany. Now it's looking like a real possibility. Good, nobody knows what we are facing.